Natural talent and skill do play a factor into how good you'll be at Rocket League, but there are things within the game that are equal to everyone. Camera settings is one of those things. Optimize this and you're already ahead. What's up guys, Happy New Year! From our TVG family to yours, we wish nothing but success and happiness in 2021. We're continuing on with this month's video sponsor, AoEAH.com. For cheap Rocket League items, make sure to check them out. The link is in the description down below. Use the promo code TVG for 6% off. This will help you to get the items you want without paying the full price. Also, if you're like me and have a lot of items just laying around in your inventory, check out their website. Your items could be worth a lot more than you think. They are legit guys, so go and check them out. Don't forget to use the promo code TVG for 6% off. I'm Jess for Top Viral Gaming, and now let's get right into it. The best camera settings for Rocket League are really up to the individual player's preference. But usually when you look at a lot of the pros, they generally share the same settings that we'll cover here in this video. It helps if you can see more of the field because that will give you more time to react to the ball, to see where the plays are heading and what position you should put yourself in. In today's video, we're going to go over some of the best camera adjustments you can make to help you improve your gameplay. Arguably, the most important option to change is your field of view. The default camera settings have the field of view set very small so that objects appear at normal size. Based on what most professionals use, you'll want to crank this all the way up to the maximum, 110. This might put some warping on your peripheral views, but don't worry, it should still help you when it comes to timing and seeing what's happening around you on the field. Now you're going to want to take a look at the distance settings and make adjustments here. Distance, in this instance, means how close your camera is to your car. You'll notice that the default settings are way too close and make the field of view a little bit unsettling. If we go based off of what most pros use, then you're going to want to adjust the distance to 270. That's the average. Some pros have it slightly further and others slightly closer. Feel free to play with this yourself. It doesn't need to be 270, but start there and make slight adjustments until you find a distance that you're comfortable with. Moving on from distance, height and angle are the next two settings we need to make adjustments to. Height is exactly that. It's the height of your camera. And angle is the angle your camera is pointed at. Keeping with what the pros use, go ahead and adjust your height to around 110 and the angle to around -3.0. Again, these settings don't need to be set in stone. Start there and then play around with them slightly to find out what you feel is most comfortable. Now, these are settings that we found get the most variation among pro players. Stiffness means how stuck or attached your camera is to your car. Basically, is your car always at the center of your screen, or does it go off-center a bit depending on the moves you're making? Swivel is the speed in which you can manually turn your camera to look in another direction. There are more player-centric configurations, and it's good to experiment with these ones to figure out what works best for you. Try starting with adjusting these settings all the way on the end of one spectrum to see what the results are, and then adjust down or up from there. Try putting your stiffness to 0 and your swivel to 10 and then make those adjustments. This directly ties into the ball cam, which I'll touch on for you guys shortly. The transition speed is how quickly your camera goes from you to the ball when you switch to ball cam. We suggest setting this to high so you can get your car back into focus quickly. However, you might find this quite jarring. If you do, make slight adjustments until you find a speed that you like. Now, ball cam isn't so much a setting, but let's talk about it quickly because, after all, this is a video about camera settings, and the ball cam is a type of camera. It's important to keep your focus on the ball's position and anticipate where it's going to be in the next few seconds. This is the difference between making a great save or giving up an easy goal. We highly recommend using and getting used to the ball cam. The ball cam will take your camera from behind your car and put it on the ball. Being good at Rocket League goes beyond knowing what's just in front of you, but rather what's around you so you can react quickly and effectively. I'm sure most of you know this, but if for some reason you didn't, the ball cam can be activated in the middle of play with the press of a button. Keep toggling between this camera and your hard camera to truly reach those high ranks. Now, this is the one that gets everyone riled up. It's probably the most important setting. If camera shake is enabled, the camera will shake anytime your car makes contact with the ball or another car. This can make the game very disorienting. Some players even say it makes them dizzy. Now, we don't know many players out there who use camera shake, but hey, if you like it, that's cool. However, we highly recommend turning camera shake off. In fact, we couldn't find any professionals who have this setting enabled. But if you want to be a rebel, go for it. You just won't catch us watching your streams for very long before we start to get nauseous and disoriented. How many of you guys agree? Camera shake needs to be turned off. Give this video a like if you agree. Comment down below with what other camera settings are a must when getting the perfect setup. Now let's get to the next part of the video. Now, like I mentioned, a lot of these camera settings are based off of the pros. After all, they're the experts we all hope to be as good as one day. If you're still unsure of the best camera settings since it does involve some experimenting and tweaking, we thought it would be a good idea to share some of the pros settings as is. Maybe you just want to skip the experimenting and tweaking and go into a match with one of these settings exactly as is. Here are a few of our favorites. Alexander K-Dub Courant. This is a great one to try out first. K-Dub's preset is basically the default setup after expanding the field of view to the recommended 110 degrees. As a multi-time RLCS world champion, we won't argue with these settings. Pierre Turbopolsa Silver. Here's another multi-time world champion settings. Turbopolsa's preset is a bit lower when compared to K-Dub. Cameron Kronovi Bills. Kronovi, who is the first world champion, has settings that show a good middle ground between K-Dub and Turbopolsa. Now, the next two Rocket League pros are prime examples that you don't need to stick to the traditional popular settings. They adjusted their settings over time to make them perfect for them. Grant Flakes Jakub. Flakes breaks the conventional 110 degrees field of view. He pushes his camera distance way back to make his vision larger that way. He also sets his stiffness to 1 so the camera doesn't drift any further back at high speeds. Francesco Cuxer97 Cinquemani. Cuxer97 was one of the only players we could find to keep his height rather low, but have a negative camera angle. These settings allow him to see his opponent over the ball when dribbling or jumping in for a 50-50 ball. If you're interested in seeing more pros camera settings, you should really check out Liquipedia. They provide a full list of notable pros camera settings. The link is in the description down below. You can also use a lot of these as a base to start with and then adjust from there. Remember to try your new settings while training on ground as well as in the air to see how your camera is affected in both aspects of the game. These are all of the camera settings and tips I have for you guys today. I want to thank you guys for checking out this video, and I'm going to get out of here, but before I do, be sure to subscribe to our channel and click or tap that bell to get notified about our latest videos. Check out our other videos. Also, hit that like button. This lets us know that you want to see more content just like this. I'll catch you guys later.